Welcome back, people. It is episode 27 of season 5 of the Taxi Squad podcast. We are live and in person here on a beautiful Chicago afternoon. We outside. Happy 4th of July. We got a fair amount to get into today. Before we do anything of that nature, please follow, like, and subscribe, and maybe just share it with a friend. We got some strange and unusual topics about some naughty baseball coaches. We got some college football talk, a little bit of MLB trivia and the Wheel of Death. NBA free agency is already in full effect, and some NFL trades. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back, it's the Taxi Squad, yeah.
Vince, I'm here.
You are here. Welcome back.
It's great, man.
It's surprisingly breezy right now.
Oh, it's
been real hot and humid. You've kind of gotten smacked in the face of the humidity the last couple days. Being back into Chicago. But no, it's nice and windy up here. We're on the back deck of Casa de Glave, and we're enjoying it right now, man. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, the yams are out, my friends.
The yams.
You could see these thighs for days. This is what an elliptical thigh looks like, dude.
You see these calves?
Yeah.
You see these?
Oh, dude, don't even show them those.
Look at these ham-eyes.
Those are lethal, dude.
These are lethal. They'll cut you.
But I'm glad you're here. And
Glad to be here, man.
We have quite a night ahead of us.
We do.
And we're going to see how that goes. But
we're going to have fun.
We're going to have
fun. Wrigley Field's in the background.
It's over there, though.
You got the landscape of Lakeview and Wrigley.
The only thing that would make it better is if, like, the camera was facing that way. But then we wouldn't be sitting on this comfy couch.
Yeah, we got to be on a comfy couch. And
it's okay.
Not only that, but, it's just really a vibe up here right now. It's breezy. We're chilling. Boys are chilling. We're back together.
Easy, breezy, beautiful cover men.
Better together than ever.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Happy 4th of July, people.
And sorry about releasing this a day late, but shit happens.
Sometimes you just got to do it for the people, right? And we wanted to give the people
That's not how that works.
The best experience
That's bullshit.
that we possibly could, right? And we knew being together would be that experience.
No, that's bullshit.
So, with that being said, that's why we're a day late. But
totally.
You do get a 4th of July episode to celebrate our nation's independence. You get two idiots talking about sports
Factual.
and stupid stuff.
And this is what makes America great, baby.
Speaking about sports and stupid stuff, we actually have a strange and unusual topic in regards to two Lake Bluff, Illinois baseball coaches.
Oh, man.
So as we're setting up for the podcast, I am just doom scrolling, one might say, and I get a CBS notification from CBS Chicago, Channel 2.
I will say you're the most elite doom scroller I know.
I'm a doom scroller. I
It's kind
scroll.
of annoying.
I'm a scroll guy. Vince gets peppered. Just saying. And if you're a good friend
You
of
get
the pod,
peppered,
you
dude.
know Mike can pepper.
My boy be sharing.
So I be sharing and Karen. But speaking of sharing and caring, these two baseball coaches definitely, let's say, overshared. If you ever gotten a conversation with an overshare, they did that, but without clothes on.
Yeah, physically.
So they were at the Cooperstown tournament in New Jersey, and they decided.
Is it New York or New Jersey?
I think it's New York.
Might be New York.
Could
Doesn't
be
matter.
New York. It's the Northeast. Pick one.
Yeah.
But they were at the Cooperstown tournament, and I don't know if one of them lost the bet or both of them lost the bet, but there is camera footage of two baseball coaches, Little League baseball coaches at that, streaking on a baseball field at 10 p.m. on a random Wednesday while the kids are at the tourney.
The kids were in the stands watching the coaches streak throughout the field. To which yes, you can't do that, right? Like, you can't do that, obviously. But I feel like in my heart of hearts that they are in Cooperstown on the tournament, and they're like, hey, kids, like, if we can really go on a roll here and we can win 3 games, like, Coach Don and I are going to streak on the field. And they're like, hell yeah.
I love that
and
his name is Don.
Something like that. And then they did that, not realizing that, that is technically exposing yourself to a minor. So they're fired.
They are fired. Let's put it lightly.
But does that not sound like something that, like, I mean, that's a little aggressive for sure, but that sounds like something that would have happened when I was in youth sports.
I just want to know how many Michelob Ultra cans were
couple.
destroyed in this process. Because like one of these guys is like totally banging one of the moms on the side.
No, probably.
Like
yeah.
it's got.
That's Coach Don. He's a bad boy.
That's
dude.
Coach Don. Coach D. No pun intended. Is out here just being criminal.
Yeah.
Just hanging D.
The one that gave the video was the mom's kid. That's how they got in trouble.
That's priceless. And the fact that they posted it is even more priceless.
Yeah.
So my question is though. Richard would love the fact that this guy's hanging dong.
That's true.
But beyond that, like, to your point, was it a bet? What's going through your thought process that you're like, I think it's cool to take my clothes off?
Not in front of children. I mean, these were little leaguers, so they're probably like 12, dude. And like, don't get me wrong, the kids were laughing. Like that's the thing.
The kids were.
There was no sexual nature behind it.
No,
clearly.
they were just being idiots.
But it was just a bunch of idiot coaches doing idiot shit. It's just like one of those things where it's just like you can't do that. You're just not allowed to do that.
They were just guys being dudes. But
just
they
guys
hung
being
dong.
dudes, man.
I mean, is there anything better than guys being dudes?
You can't hang D in front of a group of
you
little
cannot.
leaguers.
You cannot. That's exposure.
Yeah.
Between baseball coaches hanging D in front of the
Okay, but
team.
if it was like we'll wear underwear and run around the field, then that's actually allowed.
Yeah, that's fine. That's kind of funny, actually.
You got to draw the line at, like, we're going to put on whitey tighties and run around the field. It's like, haha, look at that coach being funny. But this was like, hey, like, I'm going to show this kid my P-shot, as you would say.
The P-shot.
He pulls it out and says, what's up?
P-shot show.
And then the kids are like, whoa.
They were all laughing, but to the point, quite inappropriate.
Have you ever accidentally seen an adult's peen?
It's not... I mean,
when you were not
on
an
the whole,
adult.
a peen is probably the most unattractive appendage. Probably.
I agree. No one's like he's got the. It's if you ever watched The League, it's like he's got a really pretty penis.
It's like what? Like nobody wants to see the mushroom cap.
No,
and
it's just what it does, what it works.
All the guys listening to this podcast never send a D pic, no matter how hot and heavy it gets with some young lady.
Yeah,
never do it because you're gonna regret it.
Yeah, send me a picture of your dick.
No, don't do it. Whatever you do, don't do it. Also, if you ever get a bet to go streaking in front of a 12U baseball team, don't
do that either, because that is illegal.
That is illegal.
Yeah,
highly
but
illegal.
Have you accidentally? This is back to the question. Have you accidentally seen, like, when you weren't an adult? Have you accidentally seen an adult's peen before? Because I have a story specifically, but I want to know if you did first.
Well, I always remember going to Lifetime Fitness as a youth.
Exactly where it happened for me.
As a Lifetime Fitness youth,
a person that you knew though.
Nobody I knew.
There's old guys hanging D. That's the same thing at the gym now. Like,
the older you are, the more naked you have.
You go into the sauna and there's just an old guy like, "What's up?" And you're like, "Ah, gross."
God, those things hang to the floor.
No, I remember I had like a history teacher in high school, and first off, don't go to the nearest gym to the high school. That's a bad call.
Oh no.
But he was like, he's the man. He still was the man. There was like nothing behind it. It was just like. Took me
You'll
away.
never unsee that.
Yeah, he was also a heavier set fella.
Vince was out here seeing Mr. Venny's hog.
I was in there. I will leave the names as it is because I'm not going to out this man. But we were in the locker room or whatever, and I was like playing basketball or whatever. I came back from doing that. He walks out of the shower just hanging dong, and I'm like, "Oh, hey." I was like, just finished that homework, and he's like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Wrap the towel around you." He was probably a 2-towel king. Now I'm not gonna lie, he's a big boy.
He was a big dude,
but like, come on, man. Know where you're at. He knew he was at the. Not even kidding. The gym was like, what, half a mile down the road?
Yeah,
maybe
it was like a mile away.
Maybe a mile away.
Lifetime Fitness, Algonquin, mile away from our high school.
Yes,
and. Yeah, you would see every now and again, you'd see a teacher or two, but the fact that you saw a teacher's Pashad,
you got to cover up.
I
don't care if they're going to work out near the kids. Like, you can't be hanging D in the locker room.
Don't hang D. I mean, you can, but towel up, you know?
Towel up.
It's like getting naked in front of your friends. It's a little weird, right? You know, it's not like you go to the gym together and, like, let's say you go get a workout and you're like, oh, hey, yeah, let's go hit the pool.
Yeah.
Well, you got to change into your board shorts. So in the process of changing into your board shorts, you're not going to wear underwear under your board shorts. You got
I actually always wear compression shorts under mine. Really? I don't like the net.
Oh, I don't like netting either. You just get the ones without the net.
I know, but then you're just completely hanging.
Oh yeah,
then it starts rubbing against the seam, dude. I always wear compressions under.
That could be a thing.
But I will say, like I've never seen your Talia. You've never seen mine.
No, I don't plan on it.
I have seen a few of my friends in like funny capacities. Like you ever? This is another thing. Stupid kids. You ever been brained before?
Oh yeah, the penis showing game.
No, it's the ball showing game specifically.
Well, there was the brain. There's the bat wing.
Yeah.
There is the brain, the bat wing, and then the goat.
And it was always like, come on, man.
And if you look, you get kicked in the ass and reminded how gay you are.
Yeah, that
was a game. Ultimately,
this was pre-woke.
Back in the day, this was like a game that friends played after the movie Waiting made this like popular. Groups of men were just legitimately showing each other their testicles.
It was very like without a paddle, you know.
Yeah.
Or when like smear the Q word was a thing.
Before wokeism existed,
correct.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
But honestly, probably good that we're not doing that.
Yeah, probably good we're
now
not doing that.
Now people just do this one.
Yeah.
Oh, you look, dude. Now I got to get you.
You can't be sitting down.
Now I got to get you. Whatever.
Do the
Fuck
thing.
off.
Do the thing. You got to be underneath.
I'm not looking at that.
My brother used to do that to me all the time.
I know, and then you get slugged.
He'd be like, hey.
I know, and then you get slugged. It's so unfair.
So dumb.
Okay, so getting into sports, though. So, whatever, those coaches probably should be fired.
Those coaches probably won't coach again.
That was good. And they
Don't
might,
show your
they
friends
might have
your
they might have a conduct case on their hands. I have a piece of trivia for you.
All right, Vince, trivia.
I went to bar trivia on Tuesday with a couple of my friends.
Oh, really?
And my whole job there is to get the sports trivia. So, first one I got for you, and I'll tell you exactly why I knew this exactly, but what year did Space Jam come out? Or what?
1998.
No.
7.
No.
6.
Yes. And the reason I know that is if you watch The Last Dance, Michael Jordan built a court for everybody to play against him. That was after he came back to the league for like those 30 games or whatever. We wore 45.
Yeah.
And then the first full season was after Space Jam came out. Because they went and got him when he played baseball in Space Jam.
Yes.
And brought him back to basketball.
Which was totally something he really wanted to do.
And it had nothing to do with gambling debts or his dad.
No, zero.
And then the second one I have for you, and this one tripped me up. So there's 4 teams in the MLB that have never won a World Series.
Okay.
One of them is the Seattle Mariners.
Okay.
And there's 3 other. So the question was, and this is what tripped me up, it was name the 2 franchises that haven't won a World Series in their over 40-year existence.
40-year existence.
2 franchises that didn't win one.
Okay. In 40 years.
In their over 40-year existence was the terminology.
Over 40 years. Okay, let's think about this. So the Mariners won.
And they're both NL.
They're both in the NL.
Yeah.
The Pirates.
They won.
When?
Clemente.
Oh, yeah, Clemente. The Reds won way back.
Yes, they did. Pete Rose a couple times.
The Brewers.
That's one.
Okay. NL West or East?
West.
West. No. I'm thinking.
It's not the Doyers.
The Padres?
That's the answer. So the answer was the Padres and the Brewers. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the Rockies became a franchise in 93 and they've never won one.
They did win one.
They did it.
Troy Tulowitzki, I thought that's what they did.
No, sir. With Cargo and all them, did not win one.
I thought they did.
The Rockies have never won one.
They played Boston that year, I remember
But they didn't win one, but they became a franchise within 40 years. That's what threw me off. And I was like, I think they became a team in 93. And then we put it down because like my friends were like, no, they've been a team for longer. I was like, okay, cool. And then we put it down, and there was like the Rockies also never won one because they became a team in 93. I'm like, fuck you, you guys suck. Like I knew I would have gotten that right. But yeah, that was a food for thought one that I needed to talk about with you.
That's a good one. I like it.
Yes, sir.
We have a guest on this podcast, a Rockin' Robin. Is sitting on the power line right next to Vince's place.
Yeah.
And he has joined the pod, and he's singing us a little tune.
If we didn't have a stable camera, I would do the spin around right now. But
he's gone now.
Yeah.
He just joined us for a little shot.
He was sits on the power line, gets all his nutrients.
we're going. And the Orioles could fly like that guy. They'd be probably doing a lot
they'd be a better team.
different. In between this process of us talking about hanging dongs, seeing history teachers, hogs, and all of the things that go with it, a baseball trivia, please make sure at this point of the game you subscribe, follow, like, and share. And maybe give us a call. That phone number is at the bottom of your screen.
312-725-2107.
All right. So, Vince, I'm so excited I can't even tell you. I don't know if I'm more excited about this year's release or last year's release. But
yes, you do. You know what you were more excited for.
Oh, last year I was stoked. Yeah. I got home from a work trip and literally bought a PS5 to play NCAA.
I told you, I was like, this game is amazing. And you're like, I'm just going to do it. So you went and bought one and got the game that day. And it was the greatest thing ever. And do you regret that purchase, Mike?
Never.
Right.
Not once. I wish I could play more, ultimately.
What a move.
I just don't have the time.
What a move. What a move.
What a move. One of the best moves I've ever had.
I knew it, dude.
It's so unceremonious to buy a gaming system today. It's just like you put it on the list, you go pick it up. It's a no biggie.
Yeah, well, not in the beginning of the PS5s.
No, that's true.
But either way, it is coming out. I will say that I did not expect the luxury and enjoyment of last year's college football season for me, being a Notre Dame fan, and how awesome it was until it wasn't.
It was wonderful.
So I am excited about this one, but I'm kind of like, how much is different? You know, because the most notorious, the biggest one in 2013, right? That was like the big one where everybody played it. But like they came out with it years before and we'd always get it. It's the same thing with Madden. It's like, do I want to get, like, I'm not yearning to get the re-release.
You can get, they got like a kit coming out.
Yeah,
the
bundle.
Both, and it's like 20% off, which I think I'm going to do.
It's 125, I think, or something like that to
That's
get them
not
both.
bad.
It's not bad at all, but I'm kind of just like, they need now to do something different. And how do they improve on what they did already? Because that was all brand new. Everything was new.
Well, I think you got to make Dynasty Mode a little bit more, how do I put it, deep, right?
I'd say.
So the deeper the Dynasty Mode, the better. They're bringing back the fact that you could do Road to Glory. So you could take your guy from high school and bring him into a program and do that.
You could take your guy to high school and then you could streak on the field and get fired.
And then, you could streak on the field and get fired.
Which would be cool.
All the professional coaches or all the coaches are actually in the game, so you'll be able to see beautiful Marcus Freeman's
dude,
face
he looks handsome on his face.
He's a good-looking guy.
Dude. What a guy. Hottest coach in NCAA, dude.
Potentially.
No, it's not even an argument.
It's not even an argument.
Look at that hairline.
It's not even an argument.
Dude.
I mean, Cliff Kingsbury was giving him a run for his
money. He was, but
he's
with the Washingtons now.
Yeah,
so.
now he's with the Redskins. My bad. The Guardians.
Commanders.
Or what are they? Commanders. Pick one name that was against something. You know?
My boy's lost.
So with that, I'm pretty jacked about it. And Dynasty Mode, I guess, is going far deeper into the weeds. You're going to be able to have more transfers now. They're talking about there's going to be more portal work, which is pretty cool.
Okay, this is not with the game specifically, but I'm getting on the level of the transfer portal's gone too far.
Really?
I don't
You're
like
becoming an old curmudgeon like
I
that?
am
It's going too far.
I'm not saying that. It's just more like any sign of trouble is immediate transfer now.
Well, that's the point. And these guys are making 7 figures.
Which I get that, and like, you know, follow the money and watch where it goes. But I feel like there at least has to be like, it just sucks when you're like, oh, I like this guy, and he's like, all right, well, he's not going to be on the team next year. Like, you can't have like a quarterback and then next year's quarterback's going to be really good too. Like, Arch Manning is a anomaly.
Well, Arch Manning's really going to be one of those guys. He'll be a lifer, but I also feel
that's
like
an anomaly, though, because a lot of guys are like, I'm going to back up for a year. I'm not doing it.
Well, his last name's Manning, right?
That's the whole difference. He doesn't need the money. Yeah. That's
it. So to your point, though, and now eligibility going till you're 50 is insane, right? So you could, have years of eligibility even if, for whatever reason you went to play in the CFL for a year and came back, you'll still have years of eligibility.
I can throw ropes. I might go back.
And Lane Kiffin's even talked about this, stating that like we're getting to a point where there's going to be 8-9 year college athletes. Where
we already kind of do, don't we?
Yeah. I mean, look at Bo Nix.
Stetson Bennett didn't get a diploma.
Yeah, that's not surprising at all.
He was in Georgia for
degenerate.
years. He was like 25.
Yeah, but he's an alcoholic.
Okay.
He was out partying and raging and banging whores. He wasn't worried about and winning football games. He wasn't worried about class. Are you kidding?
Fair enough.
I mean,
I don't know if any of that allegedly. I don't know.
Allegedly, yeah. But I mean, think about it. He wasn't focused on his academics. He was focused on slanging pigskin and laying
in multiple
skin,
ways.
Right? Yeah,
in multiple ways. Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't worried about grades.
I just you got to get. It's not that hard to get a college diploma.
Hey, I don't have one, but
I know,
look at
but it's
me,
not like
right?
you went to college for 7 years or 8 years or whatever it was.
No, I didn't. I went to college for 2 semesters and realized that wasn't for Big Mike.
I went for 4 and I was like, too expensive.
It's very expensive.
You get done with it, you get done.
Yeah, you're done, you're done.
I will be buying the game for sure.
Oh, I'm buying the game.
I don't know if I'm buying it on release, though.
I think I'm going to buy it on release because I think it's fun, something to look forward to. Comes out on the 10th.
You are a sports game guy more than I am, though.
Yeah, I can't get it. I like Hitman. Hitman's a fun game if we're talking gaming. I like to sneak around, maybe choke people, maybe throw a hammer off of it.
Again right now, but
Cyberpunk? What's the lore of this game? It seems like jazzy Grand Theft Auto.
In a lot of ways, yes, it is. But the storyline is the amazing part.
Didn't that game have a million problems?
And so they released it on the last generation PS4, and
it wasn't.
It was too much of a game to play on PS4. That was the idea.
That's kind of crazy.
Because it was so well built, essentially, so built so much that they didn't have the processing power to do it.
Okay.
But Keanu Reeves is the main character. So the whole time you get actual lines from Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that's cool.
In the DLC, Idris Elba is one of the main characters.
Oh, that's
so you
sick.
get actual.
So it's almost like a movie.
It is just like a movie. And then the end of the game, listen, if you guys don't know this already, I am a nerd.
Yeah, we're both.
I am
dorks.
a video gamer.
Total dorks.
And I saved it before the end of the game so I can try all 4 different types of game endings that you can pick.
Oh, so there's numerous endings.
Yeah,
kind of like Grand Theft Auto.
Except it's way more in depth than that.
Did you cry when it ended, Vince?
The first time I played it,
I miss
the first time I
Idris.
did play. No, I killed Idris Elba by the end of it.
Oh, okay.
But the first time I played it, I did have specific emotions. I've only cried at one video game ever.
What game is that?
It's called Detroit Become Human.
Yeah?
And it's about people that look like people, but they're robots. And Jesse Williams is in it.
Okay.
And it's not like a game where you go around and shoot people. You make decisions, and based off those decisions, it changes where the story goes. And you have to choose between are these robots people? You know them personally? Are they not? Are they going to take over the world? That kind of stuff.
So it's like a sci-fi.
Yes, and then at the end, it's whatever you decide ends up happening, and no matter what you can control, it all ends up being pretty sad by the end of it.
Okay, so it's a tearjerker. These games are more like movies
a movie.
Anymore.
Yes, and that's why I like them, dude.
Now, the sports games I feel need to get better at the storytelling because a lot of them are just hey, we need you to go through these tasks.
Then you do
of throwing
2K,
this ball through rings.
You get too far, and
you're going to be in the game, and they're all quasi cross-eyed for no reason. They're all hey.
I know, yeah. Dion Waiters just he's reading,
Yeah, NBA players doing what was it? MP, my player.
Yes, my player.
My player really rocked it this year.
He got 7 threes in a game. That's crazy.
That's crazy. We act and shit.
It's stupid. The thing is they can't do it properly because it can't be realistic what it actually is like. So they have to make it seem like a dreamland where everybody that goes in the NBA is just a really nice fella.
Yeah,
and then always your dad always is a failed NBA player that got into drugs or something and trying to help. And I'm sitting there a white kid from the suburbs. I'm that does not apply.
That's not me.
And I'm I make a guy that looks like me, and your dad's always a black dude. I'm that don't.
I mean, hey.
I don't have a black dad. That's just the reality of the situation.
I mean, you may have a quarter Sicilian. You don't know.
I actually do. That's all the Italian I have is Sicilian, but I don't have a black dad, unfortunately.
Well, no, yeah, that's something that is kind of ironic that they got to get better at the storytelling because Chet Holmgren can't have a black dad. That's all I'm
true.
Gonna say about that.
That is true. That is facts.
Out of all sports games, since we're on this topic, and then we have another topic based around college football, but. What, in your eyes, what is your top 5 sports games of all time?
5?
Top 5.
1 for sure. Does it have to be in the 5, or can I just do 5 and lump them all together?
I mean, you could do 5 and lump them all together.
Choose where you want one to be. Yeah, whatever
best
you want
sports
one to be.
games, not franchises, but the best, years of sports games that you enjoyed.
Here's one I thought about the other day. Do you remember the Bigs?
Yes.
That was a great one. It was just
or Slugfest.
Yeah, same concept, but the Bigs was like more built out for PS2 or whatever. And I just remember like Albert Pujols just looked juiced out and like all of like
they all did.
Yeah, I wouldn't like playing it now because I'd want more realistic stuff, but the Bigs was awesome.
I prefer the more arcade-based baseball games because I feel like it's almost too realistic playing MLB this show.
You don't want me throwing sliders in the dirt, dude?
Like I swing like just a garden hose that whole game because I'm so excited and I want to hit. I don't want to work a count.
100%. Yeah,
you're gonna be there for 4 hours.
You got to be patient, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I don't want to be patient. I want to swing away.
Or do you want to go by years too? Because I can go by years.
Yeah,
like if you
so like
go,
your favorite years of whatever.
You remember
sports game.
MLB Baseball 04? With Manny Ramirez on the cover, or 05,
maybe
or whatever
like
that
one
was.
of the best baseball. I was about
and
to
they
say
had
MVP
they had a home
baseball.
run derby where you were like miniature and inside someone's house, and you can hit it, and you're like, you destroyed a plate, you get an extra 25 points and stuff like that.
It was outstanding.
That one rocked. I loved that.
Trades were so lopsided. Like you could trade 100%. For like Alex Rodriguez for like a bag of baseballs.
Yeah. Nomar Garciaparra was always my starting shortstop.
Amazing.
I really liked. I'm trying to think of the exact Madden year, but the one with Donovan McNabb on the
2006.
I think it was 6, yeah, where Vic was kind of balling before he went to jail, and the Eagles were really fun to play with on that team. The Bears were atrocious, but whatever. I mean, they weren't bad actually. It's just Rex Grossman.
Rex Grossman.
Yeah, but I had that on PSP.
PSP.
So I would play that on the PlayStation Portable in my house. So that was a fun one. That was definitely a fun
rocks.
One. Let's go. College baseball, the guy with the one with the Longhorns, guy on it. That I took Cal State Fullerton to like 7 different College World Series.
Yeah, they're coming back with it allegedly.
That's a very fun one too because it's like
they're also coming back out. The EA just announced they're going to re-release March Madness. They're going to do that.
That's good.
The March Madness basketball games, which are always a hoot to play.
Yeah, I mean you can get money on that so easy.
Matter of time.
But NBA Live sucks, so I'm worried.
NBA Live was definitely shitty. 2K conquered the basketball.
NBA Live used to be good, but whatever they ended up doing with like the player mechanics and stuff just didn't work out, and 2K took it over. So that's 4. Let's go, dude. Let's go the Backyard Baseball 01.
Okay.
When they had a player from every team.
Yes.
And they're re-releasing that too, by the way.
Backyard Baseball. You can download it on PS5 if I'm not mistaken.
You download it on your PS5. You can download it on any system.
Any platform. So, yeah. Okay. So to kind of lean into this, I agree with Backyard Baseball. You know, Pablo Sanchez, legend.
Elite.
Maybe the best character in any video game, maybe ever.
Some would argue.
Next to like Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. But I'm going to go with Fight Night.
Ooh.
Round 2 or 3.
The Muhammad Ali cover?
No, the one with
Joe Frazier.
No, it wasn't Muhammad Ali on the cover. He was light heavyweight in the mid 2000s, and he was great. Roy Jones.
Roy Jones.
Yeah, Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
He was on the cover, and that's maybe one of the best sport video games of all time.
That is good.
MVP Baseball 05, Manny Ramirez on the cover. Yep. Maybe the best baseball game that's ever been created.
Dude. So elite.
I'm gonna say Madden. I'm going to go 2005 with Ray Lewis on the cover.
Yeah, that was
maybe
a good
the
one.
best Madden ever, just as far as how deep franchise mode was. They had a radio show in the game.
It was,
dude. It was adaptive.
And they gave you like that apartment or whatever.
Yeah, it was sick.
And every time you ran the ball, it was only in right angles. Like you couldn't go on it. Yeah.
Yes.
You just like left, right. Yeah.
Those are 4 games right there, and I would say number 5 has to be like NFL Blitz.
Yeah.
Like the OG NFL Blitz where you could like throw guys and do all this stupid shit. It was a great time.
Do we consider Gran Turismo to be a sports game?
It's more of a racing game. See, racing games to me are like in their own category.
Okay.
Like to me, like you could categorize racing as a sport, I guess.
I mean, it is for sure, but it's not. It's different.
But then again,
physically.
It's very different. I mean, Gran Turismo is the greatest racing game that has ever existed. I'm counting how many times Vince puts his glasses on and takes them off.
I don't know if I want him on or not.
He doesn't know.
I don't know if I want him on or not.
I'm
look
not
good.
opposed to it. I just want you to see my balls.
I'm chained up. I look
chained
good.
up. He looks greasy. Looks like he could be hanging out at Satchelli's right now.
How do you feel about these polos without
the Tony Soprano look is in, and I am fully in on the Tony Soprano summer. I got a couple shirts that look like that right now, and I rock the shit out
I
of
am
them.
in my Gandolfini era, but season 1 trying to get skinnier,
Yeah, but for the record, Vince, a Don never wears shorts.
That's true, but I do when it's fucking 92 degrees
Yeah, it is
outside.
steamy out here. It is ball powder season. If you are a big guy, you're over $2 bills, and you have invested into
Burt's
the
Bees,
ball
dude?
powder, you must do that.
The
And
Burt's
then-
Bees grapefruit one? Come
Yeah,
on.
what's great about that is then later you could then make hush puppies. So there you go.
Ew, dude.
But
Ew, dude.
I think college football this year is actually going to be one of the better video games they've produced now that they've taken all the feedback of the fan and put it into the game. Allegedly.
You hope they
We'll
do
see.
that.
We'll see.
You
Now,
hope
what
they
I
do
also
that.
believe is really cool through NIL, what they're going to be capable of doing is giving teams money based off of how many times they're played in the game.
You mentioned this,
So, for
yes.
example,
Kent State.
and I've done more homework on this, if you play as Kent State or just a very small D1 or FCS, FBS school, they will actually get money. So we all need to come together as a unit and figure out what team we are going to pick. So, Vince, with that, what teams are you looking forward to rebuilding?
Man,
And what team do you think we should take to the moon? Because I think we should work on this
I
together.
like picking like a MAC team. I'm like
NIU.
so usually I would do that, but they left such a sour taste in my mouth last year that I didn't do it with
Why?
them.
Because they beat your Domers?
Because they're the only team that beat us.
Yes. it
They're
was
the only team that
fantastic.
beat us like all year. It's insane. But I do like playing as that. Them or like Toledo. Toledo's really fun. Kent State's always a good one because they're always like the worst. I don't know. Give me your opinion. I would go towards an NIU or Toledo. Take a MAC team to the top. That's my idea.
Okay. I like where your head's at. I'm thinking we got to go. I gotta be a homer. So like NIU is kind of at the top of my list.
Yes.
I want to make the Huskies great again.
Yeah, that's where
right?
White
and I
from,
want
too.
to and I want to get them into the Big Ten. That's kind of like a goal, right?
Okay.
So you build them up, transfer them, right? Because let's face it, like Maryland doesn't necessarily deserve to be in the Big Ten.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Either that or like take a Big East team like a notable basketball school and take them. I did that with Duke. And then I moved
They're
Duke.
ACC though.
Yeah, I know, but I moved Duke to the SEC, which was pretty neat. But if we're talking like pretty small,
UConn?
UConn could be cool
That'd be
because
fun.
they do have a football program.
And they're Big
it's
East
horrible.
in basketball.
Yeah, they're Big East basketball. Now, I would say
Cops.
the team that's on my radar right now,
Goddamn cops.
yeah, the cops are out and about right now. I'm going to say team on my radar, definitely Kent State.
Yeah.
But I think like
Notable alumni of Kent State.
like Monroe would be cool. to
UL
like-
Monroe.
Yeah, like UL Monroe would be cool.
Who's the most notable
Or, like-
alumni of Kent State, Mike?
Julian Edelman.
Correct. Well done.
Julian Edelman, and then wasn't Matt Nagy like
He
the
might have.
quarterback at Kent
Yeah,
State for a minute?
he
there,
might
too?
have. Julian Edelman played quarterback there, though.
Yeah, Julian Edelman, dog.
Yep.
So you're gonna lean like small school. You're
I'm going to
thinking-
take Toledo or I'm going to take NIU.
Toledo or NIU.
Or I'll
Okay,
do the
I
same
like
thing I did last year and create a DePaul team and then build them up.
it. Well, see, creating a team to me is kind of like boat. It's kind of butt.
Why?
Because it's like I want it realistic.
I mean,
I
it's a
want a
real
realistic-
real university, and then you take some other university's squad. Like I took Kent State's team
Oh,
and made them
okay, I see what- I
DePaul,
see
and
where-
then
I'm
played
picking up what
as
you're putting.
DePaul
Okay.
the same way. It was just more like I got to have some school pride.
But the problem is you get it to a point where
You're just amazing.
you built the team up so well
Yeah.
and you're just so undeniably good that even when you're playing on All Pro or potentially like Heisman,
Yeah.
you're still crushing.
Yeah, having like 94 speed 6'5" receivers is just so unfair.
Well,
and your quarterback is like a 94 speed. It's just so dumb.
It's just like, yeah, you just take off at the sign of trouble.
Evan Sandman, dude.
Yeah.
He was my dog.
Evan Sandman, you decide to name a guy Dick Hammer, right? His
Oh,
name
yeah.
is Richard Hammer.
Oh yeah.
So that's always a good one. But I'm excited. I think definitely NIU's on the list. Kent State, maybe UL Lafayette, maybe a little Lafayette action. Go a little New Orleans.
And then I'll do a creative player and play on Notre Dame and be the quarterback.
Of course.
Best in
That's
show
what you
match.
got to do.
Just best
And
since Montana.
You could do the same thing with USC, right? I mean, it's all exciting. And yeah, you definitely get jacked this time of year for the new releases of the games. But also, I mean, we'd be remiss. I mean, are you excited for the March Madness video game? Because EA hasn't come out with a basketball game worth of shit in like 20 years.
Sorta, but again, if it's the same thing as NBA Live, then not really.
But they haven't released NBA Live in like 6 years.
They have.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, they like came back with it and they started coming out with it again. And it sucked still.
Yeah, that's
just not good. Yeah,
EA be better.
So we'll see. I'll play it first and figure out if I like it or not. But let's get to some real sports, huh?
Baseball, Vince.
Cal Raleigh watch.
Cal Raleigh may be.
He's the greatest power hitter we've seen in years.
One of the best power hitters to the point we've seen in probably the past decade.
Catcher, switch hitter. I saw this graphic a couple days ago, and to even be mentioned in a graphic like this would be top tier in my life. So someone put most home runs before the start of July. Cal Raleigh has 33. He is in the same boat as Barry Bonds in 01 with 39, Mark McGwire with 37, Cal Raleigh, Sammy Sosa with 33, and then Ken Griffey Jr. with 33.
It's crazy.
That's wild. And then you're just like, someone doesn't belong here, and it's Cal Raleigh, but he does. I mean, and I looked at it the other day to like get odds for MVP. Everybody's already in on it.
Everybody's been in on it. We
win.
talked about Cal Raleigh when we talked about the Mariners a month ago, and we were like, can this remain and persist? I personally believe that after the All-Star break, we're going to see what he's truly made out of, because the first half of the season, guys go on tears.
But you end the season right now, and he's 33 home runs. Is great for the year.
Yeah, I mean, he is outpacing Aaron Judge in almost like every hitting category right now, which is pretty nuts.
And catching almost every day.
Which is crazy, because your legs get shot, and eventually they may have to consider just moving him to full-time DH.
Well, yeah, it's like I think people have been making the argument. So Salvador Perez hit 48 that one year, but he played DH more than he caught.
Right.
This guy's actually catching.
Salvador Perez, though, I mean, truly in his prime had a absolute laser of an arm.
Oh, yeah.
And now, I mean, he is a full-time DH, and who knows how old he is, because a lot of these guys from
we looked at it the other day. I think he's like 36 or 38 or something.
Yeah, he's 36 or 38. But
which is only I would really 8 years older than me, and like, it's crazy.
Yeah, trust me, I feel that. Now,
it's sad.
I do really feel as if Cal Raleigh, though, I would love to see his split as to his home runs on the side of the plate, because I'm curious to see if he hits more lefty or righty, which is insane. He's a switch hitter, and he's doing
most by switch by far going into July.
Absolutely. Now, my thing is, when do the steroids tests start, or PED substance tests?
I'm sure they already have.
You think they're because he is at an aggressive clip?
They do them just after games. They're like, hey, we got to test you.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure they already have.
I mean, he is really moving at an average clip that we haven't seen in probably 20 years.
The thing is, though, is like he's hit like a lot of home runs the last couple of years. So if you look at his like baseball reference, like this year's definitely an anomaly. He's got more, but the last couple of years, it's not like he's not hitting homers.
It can't last forever. That's all I'm getting.
I mean, yes, he's not going to hit 69 home runs this year.
I mean, he very well could hit 60.
I think he might hit 60. I think he might. He probably is going to taper off and go to like Giancarlo Stanton at 58. It's wild to taper off and hit 58. But that's a lot of home runs between here and 60.
Yeah, it's one of these situations that you love to see it, but the Astros are they just continue to defy the odds, and fuck, I hate them.
I hate it, and it's stupid.
I just don't get how they continuously remain good. I don't know if you saw this, but their shortstop Pena recently signed with Scott Boras. They wanted to give him like a juicy multi-year deal. He was like, I'm firing my agent and hiring Scott Boras.
Yep.
And now he's going to get generational money.
For sure.
Because he's like,
That's the smart thing to do, man.
It's one of these situations. That's what all these guys are doing. You want to maximize your worth, and Scott Boras gets that for you. Now, you may go play for the Rockies, a la Chris Bryant, but you're going to get paid.
100%.
So I look at this and go, okay, now the Mariners do have a shot to maybe grab a wild card. We'll look at that. We'll get a little bit more deep into the standings as we talk about the MLB right now. But what's crazy, speaking of standings, is that the Yankees are doing what the Yankees do.
Yeah.
And shortly before the All-Star break are falling on their face.
We talked about the Blue Jays when Vladdy signed that deal. It's like, I don't know if this is sustainable with this team. Well, God damn it. Go into July 4th, and the Blue Jays are the best team in the AL East.
Yeah.
And
Bo Bichette's raking right now.
Yeah,
so
the entire team's playing really freaking well, dude. And the Yankees, on the other hand, are like up and down, over and over again, which is kind of what you expect. You know, they can't go torpedo bat right off the bat. Like, we talked about all of that. It can only go so far. Cal Raleigh also using a torpedo bat, I think. But yeah, I mean,
that's the difference.
Do I think they're going to be in second the rest of the year? Probably not. I think they'll probably win the division still, but like, Trouble in paradise.
There's
trouble in the Bronx.
Trouble in the Bronx right now. And I believe Toronto, I mean, they always go on a tear and always seemingly can't put it back together after the All-Star break. So this is always a very interesting time in baseball as a whole, because I do feel as if a lot of these teams get on hot streaks, then they have a break for a week, right? And then they come back, and a lot of the teams either fall on their face or that momentum's gone.
See, Javi Baez is a starting outfielder this year for the All-Star game?
That's amazing.
I know.
So shout out to Javi, by the way, for being a renaissance man and having a shit year over the past 3 years playing in Detroit. Shit years, plural, and swinging at everything. Now he gets a different position of playing outfield, and he's raking and actually patient at the plate again. And he looks like he did when he was playing for the Cubs. Like it
is wild.
The plate discipline's never been there, but then again, it's getting better.
It doesn't matter if you strike out that much if you're also hitting the ball.
He's a very talented defenseman and a great athlete in general. So I'm really not surprised that he's just tearing shit up and out.
Speaking of a great athlete, and some of the best slides in the MLB. Did you see that the Chicago White Sox got number 1 on SportsCenter the other day?
With who?
Cody Meadroff.
Dude, I love Cody Meadroff.
I think it's Cody, right? Cody?
Cody or Corey Meadroff?
Yeah, he went to go slide and completely got away from the tag and then hopped over and put his foot on the base. He was called out initially. He's like, immediately replay that. Did not get touched. Dog of a slide. Very Javi Baez.
Hey, they beat the Giants in a series, which for us, I mean, that's one of the best teams in baseball right now. We're the best teams in the NL West.
We're much better than we were last year.
And we're better than we are last year. I really enjoy what this manager's doing with this team.
Yeah.
I like Venables a lot. I think he's going to be a long-term manager for us. And I think the Meadroff guy, I think that's wonderful to see someone who was a part of a big trade for Crochet actually contributing now.
Immediately, yeah.
And then what's crazy, though, is Braden Montgomery. I mean, it's just...
I like him.
He looks to be like it.
Let's get Colson up there, dude.
But Colson, the other Montgomery, is in Arizona ball right now where rookies play. So Colson Montgomery isn't doing shit.
Nah, he walked it off the other day.
In Arizona?
I don't know if he's there right now, to be honest.
Well, it wasn't looking so hot for a guy who was supposed to be the resurgence of Corey Seager. So
yeah, that's a tough comp.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult because, Chase Meadroff is starting shortstop. It's Chase. It's starting shortstop. My question is with the Sox, since we're on the Sox, when does Luis Robert get moved? Does he get moved?
Probably ASAP, but he's sucked this year, so who knows?
Like, who's going to want him and what are we going to get for him?
I know.
Reliever?
I saw they did interviews with sorry, I'm fixing my mic right now. They did interviews with AL Central development people and front office people. And they were just talking about how the White Sox are so good at getting prospects that any other team would want, and then immediately squandering the opportunity by not developing them. And I was like, that's tale as old as time, man.
Well, what's crazy is Clint Frazier was on a podcast recently, and he basically said that team that he was on in 2022 was just like a bunch of prima donnas faking injuries so they didn't have to play.
Yeah, they one specifically was one guy who didn't run out to first. Fast enough, and came in and started they're like, we're going to bench you if you don't do that. And he was like, you can't bench me. And then they didn't bench him.
Was it Eloy Jimenez?
It might have been.
Smells like Eloy
It might have been
Jimenez.
Moncada. It might have been any of them, dude. It could have been, honestly. It's just sad to see.
Just don't care. Just guys who
sad
don't
to
care.
see.
And Clint Frazier was allegedly, he was one of the top prospects in baseball, and he wound up doing nothing.
He was in the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Yankees and Guardians for a while.
And
there.
the Cubs and the Grubs, dude.
Yeah, he jumped around for a long time. But I do agree that this is something that you look at, and I don't know what you're going to get for Luis Robert. Last year, you probably could have got the most for him, but now you're not going to be able to get a thing.
Yeah, try at least. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's going to see him and be like, he's got too much talent to not be good, but that's how we felt.
He's a physical freak. He leads, he's top 3 in stolen bases in the ML?
I think so, yeah.
MLB, yeah.
And there was a good 2 weeks there where he was mashing, so there's always a chance. We'll see. But before we get into the Wheel of Death, Clayton Kershaw, 3,000 strikeouts yesterday against the White Sox.
That's impressive.
It's amazing. I mean, I think it's going to be the last time we see that, to be honest, because guys aren't going as deep into games. We're not going to see a 3,000 strikeout guy for a long time from now.
I agree with that statement.
Like, no one goes into like the 7th anymore. It feels like you gotta have to.
Well,
you have to do that.
It's rare to see a guy go a complete game, let alone.
Yeah, it's almost unrealistic.
Yeah, it is almost realistic. I agree with that statement. That you see a guy go a complete game anymore, you're like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. I mean, they've pulled guys in the middle of no hitters.
What, Tariq Skubal did like a complete game 97 or something like that?
Yeah.
Pitches, something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Only way you're doing
it's
that.
It's insane to go under 100 pitches and pitch a complete game anymore.
Facts.
It's crazy.
Wheel of Death.
Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, the Wheel of Baseball Death.
I'm going to put the spin right here, but Guardians.
Boom. We're close to the Guardians.
Hooray. We are. We're like right next to them, actually.
Yeah. Fun fact, I checked into my hotel today, and I'm not going to disclose the location because I don't want people to know where I'm staying. But
Holiday Inn Express.
The Holiday Inn Express in Gold Coast. But wife and I checked into our hotel. We get situated and we're leaving to go grab some lunch, and then we're coming here to, hang with Vince and record a pod. And we look in the lobby of the hotel and see all of this luggage, and we're like, how many fucking people are staying here?
Yeah.
Why all this luggage? Well, it turns out the Cleveland Guardians logo is on all of their luggage tags with their numbers, and the Cleveland Guardians are staying at the hotel where the Stas family is currently residing. Wow. So, pretty neat stuff. I'm going to see if I can get an autograph, see where Jose Ramirez is. Maybe I will see if I can
They might be leaving today. They might have it checked out.
Yeah, I think they're checking out because the bus was outside ready to go. They're probably going to get picked up after the game, and then they're on to the next road trip.
Fly away.
So, with that, the Guardians do play the Cubs this evening. And July 3rd, it is a pretty crazy series right now. The Cubs are just somehow getting destroyed by teams that are over 500. And you look at
over or under?
Over 500. They're not playing very well.
I mean, they won last night, didn't they?
I believe they did win.
I think they won 5-4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, it's they're an odd team, man. They need some pitching.
The Cubs need some pitching.
And it could come from this Cleveland team.
It could come. So a lot of people are saying Emmanuel Clase right now, the closer for the Guardians, is potentially being shopped, and they're talking teams like the Dodgers or Padres or even the Cubs looking to bolster their bullpen. A lot of reports are saying that the Cubs might look at Emmanuel Clase. Vince, I mean, at this stage of the game, the Guardians are 12.5 games out of first.
They're in second, but they're 12.5 games out because Detroit's
so good.
Yeah, and they're 40 and 44 right now. I feel like yes, you do trade him because they clearly need to rebuild, and Francona Magic is gone. They don't have them anymore, so they don't just randomly do really well. I mean, you have good players. I mean, you got 301 on Jose Ramirez every single year. You can basically write that down.
Yes.
Steven Kwan's also having a good year, but like,
hit the Kwan.
In total, like Kyle Manzardo was supposed to be that big like new guy on the block thing. He's not having a good year right now.
A lot of people are disappointed with the showcase of Travis Bassana right now.
Yeah.
First pick in the draft for the Guardians this year from Oregon State, supposedly the best middle infielder in the draft. And a lot of people are saying he's struggling at this stage of the game in AAA. So they're kind of getting to be a rock and a hard place. But to your point, the Indians or Guardians, as they are now called, always have a fun way of like being that second team in the Central, regardless of where they are. I think for the past 20 years, they've always
2005, they did the same fucking thing.
Right, and they always get hot late, and they're always just a pesky team you hate to see going towards a playoff run at August, right?
It's just hard to see. Like, this Detroit team is so good.
They're very good.
They're deep, and they have maybe the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good rotation right now. Their closer's doing his job. Like, it's hard to see them coming back from 12 games. I know there's a lot of games left in the season, but, like, not that many at this point. We're about halfway through. Like, there's, like, 80-ish games left to make up 12 games. That's tough if both teams are going to be playing hard. But it's not impossible, obviously. But if they get rid of their closer, it might be.
Yeah, I don't know how they would continue to compete. I mean, basically right now, they're a scotch under 500. The AL Central this year, as a whole, is pretty much booty cheeks.
Except for the best team in baseball.
Yeah, next to the Tigers, who are the best team in baseball with 54 wins and 33 losses. And they're 30-14 at home and 24-19 away, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
The Guardians right now are pretty much just sitting as a 500 team. So I look at them and it's like, what are you going to be? Are you going to be a team that's going to compete for a World Series this year? The answer is no.
Dude, they're mid-market. Like, the only way, and we get it, like, the only way to build a mid-market team is, like, Class A is right now, like, maybe not statistically right now, but top 3 closer in the MLB.
Well, not only that, he's got 3 years left on a deal.
So yeah,
for a team that's ascending, it's kind of perfect.
If you're going to be that team, if you want to be mid-market and still compete and get good players, then you have to trade him now, which is bullshit. I don't think any team should ever do that. It's like, let's take our stars, but this is the best time to get the most back from them and then repeat the cycle they've always done.
My question is, I don't feel as if, has a team ever regretted trading a guy in the height of his,
yes,
tenure? Potentially,
yes.
But
there's
never.
a guy that plays for the Dodgers named Mookie Betts that the Red Sox traded that they should not have fucking traded him.
Should have never traded him. They probably should have never traded Devers.
Chris Sale was a waste of a trade too. So I don't know.
Well, Chris Sale did win them a World Series. I mean,
no, the Red Sox are happy about him. I'm talking about the White Sox getting rid of him.
Oh,
because that didn't end up bearing any fruit for us.
Well, it was supposed to, but Moncada and Kopech both had cases.
Yeah.
Now, I do look at this team and think the Guardians are to a point right now where AL Central's pretty much booked up. They might be able to go on a run, but to your point, as an organization, they got to start making some decisions. Notoriously not a team that spends a lot of money in free agency at all. They build it through the draft and through their farm system. So I think at this stage of the game, you got to look at trading whatever valuable pieces you have to bolster that farm system and look at competing in the next few years, because the Central's probably going to be locked up by Detroit for the next 3 to 5.
Feels like it. The Royals too are coming up too, man. I mean, not this year, but give them. They have decent pitching right now. They have young but good players, and again, is Bobby Witt the best player in the Central right now? Best position player.
He's the best. I think he is the best
5-tool player,
infielder in baseball. I don't think there's one person you could put up against him.
It's hard to make an argument against it.
Yeah, Bobby Witt Jr. is the best infielder in baseball today, hands down.
With all of the tools, yeah.
You could argue Mookie Betts, because Mookie Betts is playing shortstop right now.
You could argue Jose Ramirez, too, if you want.
Yeah, Jose Ramirez has been consistent for a decade. I look at the Guardians, though, overall, and just kind of say, it really, what's so funny about the AL Central, it is so very good at the tip top.
Yeah.
It is so very bad with the White Sox. And then you have 3 teams just sitting in the middle. All basically at 500 records.
Sporting purgatory, as I call it.
Yeah, it is a goofy division as a whole, and not very good in general.
Nope.
So as we look at this, I think that the Guardians are probably going to have to blow it up. Now, to add to more thought process of blowing up.
I don't even think if they have to blow it up, though. I think they trade 1 or 2 guys, and they're kind of in a good spot.
Yeah, if they play out.
Like, they can honestly keep their team and not really tank much, but just get good prospects for their top-end talent.
Correct.
Same way they did it with Lindor, and the same way they're going to do it with Class A the same way. It's like,
yeah, do we all forget how quickly Lindor was such a key piece to them going to a World Series? Now, they also have some other potential issues. Luis Ortiz, which is a relief pitcher for them, under an MLB investigation for betting.
I have a crazy idea.
What?
If you're in a professional league, don't bet on it.
Well, umpires have been fired for this, for, being on friends' accounts.
Jonte Porter,
that the NBA is getting roasted for this at this time.
Shohei Ohtani definitely didn't do anything.
Shohei Ohtani didn't do a thing, okay? He is so clean.
It's such horseshit.
The MLB wasn't just like, oh, let's just put this under here for now. And then, this guy's making us too much money.
I don't really care that much about it, like if you're not betting on your own team to lose or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you can't say that he wasn't doing anything like that. That translator took all of the heat, dude.
Yeah, that translator was the scapegoat, and
that
it's just
sucks.
like, Shohei, never fucking do it again, okay? And he got away with it because he's Shohei Ohtani.
And he's pitching again, yeah.
Of course he's pitching again, and he's lights out. It's crazy. One of the most elite baseball players probably in the past 100 years.
He's the best player we've ever seen play.
Probably.
It just is what it is.
Do you believe he doesn't speak English? I believe he speaks perfect fucking
English.
English.
There's always this where it's not, does he know how to speak English? It's, can he do it eloquently enough to not say something stupid? And I think that's like where the line is. You keep the translator because it's like, I don't know if I know it well enough to like articulate myself properly.
Yeah, but then there was like Devin Hester, and he was from here, and he could barely fucking speak English. They'd be like, Devin Hester, you had a great return. What was going through your mind?
Touchdown.
Well, I caught some football, and then I ran.
Yeah.
And then I scored a touchdown, and then I missed that person.
He's very
and
well
then I missed that
spoken
other
now,
person.
to be honest, though. So
He's what?
He's well spoken now.
Well,
you hear him in an interview and stuff like that.
He was
when
on
he
the
came
Bears. It was like
I mean,
CTE plus.
You don't go to the University of Miami for the great education if you're going to be a football player. You go because you're playing for the U.
Come on, how about G-Rag out here, talking about his third leg?
Greg Olson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, 7th floor. I do think right now that this team is open to saying to Luis Ortiz, we don't really need you. So
no, it's not like he's a top end.
No.
Yeah, he's not important enough to the team where it's a big deal.
Correct.
But he's probably just going to get the Jonte Porter treatment and get suspended for a year or whatever. Jonte Porter actually, I think, is banned for life. But
there's going to be guys who are going to be banned for life in all this. But to your point, like, do you really need to bet on the game?
Well, they can. Yeah, no, because how much? If you're making that much money, especially Jonte Porter's making like a couple $1 a year. What is he? Even units.
I mean, it's all alleged right
even
now.
Units
it's under
wise,
investigation, but chances
Jonte
are
was
smoke,
confirmed and kicked. So like in his, it's like you're making a couple $1 a year, and like you're gonna put even units of like $1,000 to get back $3,000. Like, what's the big dealio there?
Yeah.
In comparison, it doesn't make any sense to me. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just stop betting on your teams. This is the tale as old as time. This is the Pete Rose. This is the Ohtani. It's the whole same thing. You're never going to get away with it. You're just going to get away with it for a little bit until they catch you.
That's anything. What's done in the dark will
always
eventually come to light.
Always come to light.
That's the way of the world, regardless of what you do. So be mindful, people. Be mindful.
Uncle Mike's here letting you know.
Uncle Mike plug.
Thanks, Unc.
Okay.
Football is here, sort of, kind of.
8 weeks, babe.
Yeah,
8 weeks.
we kind of have football again, which is very cool.
Why am I so excited for like preseason? I don't
because we're starved right now. This is what we talked about last week. It's like the NBA and the NHL end, and then we're only on baseball, and we're in the dog days of baseball right now. So we're literally just sitting there waiting for football to start.
You know what I did today?
What?
I turned on fucking Wimbledon. I've never turned on Wimbledon a day in my life.
All right, tennis king.
I was like, you know what? This is something that I think it would be fun to watch live. If you were there, I would probably get a little excited.
Yeah, I would go to the Masters, same kind of
like
idea.
pinkies up type shit.
Yeah.
But like I would totally drink an Aperol Spritz and watch tennis.
Yeah.
You know what's big right now? And a lot of the women are doing it, and I fully support it. The tennis skirt has made a resurgence.
It has, yes.
I was in Gold Coast having lunch on a patio today with wife.
Yeah.
And how many women are just walking around in these tennis outfits? And I'm like, this is pretentious white lady stuff, and I am all for it.
It's like the golf girls, dude. Same kind of idea. They all do that.
Right?
I get it. I'm in on it, too. Pastel colors, dude.
Pastel colors, skirts.
Yeah.
Right? You see a little thigh action similar to the pod right now? Are you seeing
you're talking about these guys, dude?
You seeing some of these hammocks, the definition of a quad?
The yams are out, dude. You're getting a lot. You're getting a lot of thigh from me right now.
A lot of thigh action on this podcast.
On that one.
Richard, shout out to you. Anyways, Minkah Fitzpatrick is no longer a Steeler. And
he's a dull phone again, dude.
He's back to the team that he started with, which is the biggest reverse Uno card I've ever seen.
It is.
Arthur Smith has got his hands all over this fucking trade.
Yeah.
And it's like they traded for Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey.
No, Jonnu Smith wasn't in the trade.
That's right. That's
right.
He's
still
signed.
On the team.
He signed.
He's still on the team, isn't he?
No, Jonnu Smith is now a Steeler.
Is he?
He is.
Okay, cool. I don't have my phone.
But Minkah Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey. It's just like...
Well, maybe he was in the trade. Maybe I was wrong.
This is like the Brooklyn Nets when they brought in KD and like Paul Pierce. It was like, it's over. But so now you have Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Ramsey, Jonnu Smith, a running back from Iowa, and then Arthur Smith leading the charge. I don't know what this is going to be. Your thoughts?
It's not going to be worse.
Oh, emo Mike right now with the breeze.
Oh yeah, look at that. The hair in the front.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be worse than it was because last year was also like, what's going on? It's just like this is screaming like, what do they got? 18 games now.
Yeah.
This is screaming like 10-8. 9
I think it's going to be more so 9 and.
Or it's, what is it?
10.
Is it 19 games? Can you be 500?
No, it's going to be 18 games, which is now the thing.
Can you be
Before
500? I didn't even know you could. Oh, you get. It's 18 weeks, 17 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can be 9 and 7 or whatever. It's screaming like.
We got a Cardinal.
Oh, there's another Cardinal.
We got the Angels.
Beautiful.
We got the Angels.
Yeah, it's screaming Mike Tomlin above 500, sneak into the playoffs. Maybe they'll do something.
I don't think this is a Super Bowl quality team.
DK Metcalf, too. Don't forget him.
You got DK on this team, too. I mean, there's going to be some firepower here, but they're one injury away, literally, on offense from being
Patty
nothing.
Freiermuth, too, man. Don't forget about him. He's a beast.
Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith. It looks like a pretty decent offense. They're going to protect Aaron Rodgers. I believe the whole thought process of Aaron Rodgers not signing before training camp was simply due to the fact that he was like, I want to see what the schedule release is.
Well, that's what we were saying.
Give me a bunch of primetime games.
He didn't want primetime games, which I totally get. He also needed to get married and all that, so he figured all that stuff out.
By the way,
Mikey with the trigger finger on Instagram yesterday with the Aaron Rodgers.
It was an AI-generated photo that came up on Reddit, and I thought it was the funniest
It is
shit
funny.
ever.
It was funny.
And it was a plug for Shaka Khan. And if you don't like Shaka Khan, I don't like you.
I love her.
Now,
I saw her at
Chicago.
At Pitchfork 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, so Shaka Khan, Chicago-based gal. Not only that, Kanye West sampled, Prince produced. Come on, what are we doing?
It's just old Aaron Rodgers. How is he going to do? DK.
He's not who he used to be.
DK's going to spread it out. Like, the defense is going to be good like it always is. So, look at that division. Well, now they're not going to win the division, but they could get a wild card.
If we're on the Steelers, there's speculation TJ Watt will not show up to training camp
he wants to
if he doesn't get a new deal.
He should get signed. He's the best fucking defensive player in the league.
But he's going to be 31.
Doesn't matter.
That's crazy to think about the fact that if you're almost 31 and in the NFL, you're considered ancient.
At that position, yeah, but like it doesn't matter. He's good. He's still good.
It's fair. He's still very good.
It's a Trey Hendrickson thing too. It's like what are we even doing?
I agree.
We got a lot of time though in between them. Usually those things all get ironed out when training camp kind of begins. So that's what we're looking at right now. But
Darren Waller is a Dolphin.
Yes,
now.
Darren Waller, welcome back.
Great rapper.
Him and Kelsey Plum broke up. He became a rapper. Realized that wasn't going to work out, and he was signed with who? The Raiders.
Yeah,
and the Raiders had to essentially like give up.
No,
rights
he was on the Giants.
The Giants, that's what it was, and the Giants actually traded him over.
Correct.
So now he's a Dolphin. I don't know how it's going to go.
Who's going to throw him the football?
He still looks ripped. If Tua isn't completely brain dead.
Yeah, if Tua isn't,
And if it's not going to be him, it'll be Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson does like his tight ends. So
yeah, if Tua isn't mushy pea brain, we'll see how it all works out.
Could be tough.
Could be very tough. It's going to be an interesting season to see how the Dolphins do. What week does Zach Wilson take over as starting quarterback?
If Tua doesn't get injured, then never. But he's going to get injured, so I would give him like week 6.
I'm saying week 6. I'm going week 6.
Yeah.
I read an article the other day on the Pro Football Talk.
Yes.
That was talking about the ceiling and floor for Caleb Williams.
Who is that, Mark Florio?
I think so. It was Mark Florio.
PFT.
They said Caleb Williams' his ceiling is Jordan Love. Agree or disagree?
That's stupid. Mike Florio is classic clickbait,
He just says shit to say
He's classic clickbait. He just wants to know like all like the... He's a big like money guy and how the league makes decisions and shit like that. I don't know, dude. The thing is I'm trying to temper my expectations. And also, if you ever listen to Rich Eisen, I love his show, honestly. Rich Eisen show rocks. But he is the opposite. Where he's like, the Bears are set up. They're just set up. Like,
yeah, Rich Eisen does like to falsely hype shit.
But I like it, honestly, because he's just positive and nice. And then, like, you see offseason, who won the offseason? Bears won another offseason.
We were the kings of winning
all of that shit. I'm just like, dude, I'm going to be, like, I want to see improvement. I think he's still very good. I think his offense is going to look completely different. But, like, I'm not going to go in there and make any crazy predictions. I think we're going to be a decent, okay team, maybe 500.
I'm hoping for 500.
Jordan Love has a peak. Jordan Love hasn't even reached his peak yet.
That's what I'm saying.
Can't even
like,
peak
you can't even play that.
Give me a guy that's had a career.
They want to give him a bunch of shit, right? Because essentially he didn't perform better than his classmates in the same draft, and he's the number 1 overall pick. Granted, he was seeing goats a la Sam Darnold.
He was also it was getting ran by the kinder care. It didn't.
Correct.
It was
he didn't
bad,
have solid coaching.
No.
Ben Johnson's going to come in here and daddy's home.
He already said like he is like. He's like, Ben Johnson gives me shit all the time. Like, I'm eating lunch in his fucking office, like, coming up with shit. Like, he's like, this is a different scenario altogether.
This is a lot different. It feels different. And you just pray that, this is going to be our time.
Just don't get too high on it. Don't get too low on it.
Can't get too high. Can't get too low. Is there a dark horse team this season that you're feeling like they're going to surprise?
There's always a last to first, right? That always kind of happens. Or, like, not even last for first, but, like, last place team that ends up going to the playoffs.
Bears?
It could be them. I almost want to leave them out of it because it's just like the Bears.
The Bears.
I don't know. There's a few, because like there's a couple teams that like you don't really know. Like you don't know what the Colts are going to be at all. You have no idea.
Right.
The Jaguars could be a lot better, but I don't really trust their coach at all. It's like, what are you going to do with that? But I'm thinking about divisions that have like some openings. Like the Eagles are going to win the East again. It's just going to happen. Cowboys are not going to be able to do anything with it. Honestly, the only way the Eagles don't win the East is if the Commanders do. So it's, I don't know, like go west. Maybe the Rams start making a run this year for fun. That would be kind of cool. But it's just like Seattle, Sam Darnold, Seattle.
I mean, you think about, although Sam Darnold, I think that was kind of like Kevin O'Connell and his lore, and there's another team. I don't think that's going to surprise some people.
That was the most honest you've ever been about Sam Darnold.
I do think the Lions are going to probably take a back seat. So
a little bit of a downfall. I don't think they're going to be bad.
Yeah, I just think like you.
But what does that mean? Then the Packers win the division?
Potentially, the Packers are set up even with no Jair.
I still don't think Jordan Love's that good.
I don't think he's that good either. He's hit or miss. He has great games where he shows up, and then he has games where he looks like butt. So
Josh Jacobs is a monster, though.
Josh Jacobs is him. There's no doubt. Now, there is a team in particular that's kind of sitting under the radar, and I feel like a lot of people have written them off, but if you still look at it, like, they're probably going to get rid of Ayuk, and I know people might be like, this is kind of a homer call, but I do think the Niners are potentially going to win that
$300 million quarterback, aging roster.
They got one more year.
What did they change, though? They weren't good last year.
They got rid of Debo.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the difference between winning 5 games.
Yeah, we'll see.
They sucked last year.
Well, yeah, but Bosa was out. Trent Williams was out. If they're a fully healthy squad.
Yeah, but both of those guys get injured every year.
Yeah, they do. But CMC being lost, too. I mean, that was crazy.
And he's notoriously really strong at not getting injured every year.
Correct.
No, wrong.
But I feel
he
like
gets injured every year.
But I feel like if they're healthy, they're going to surprise some people. But then, of course, you look at Jaden Daniels.
If is such
Washington.
A caveat with that team, though. It's just, I don't know. It feels like it feels like Shanahan's going to go somewhere else and have more success. I feel like his time in San Francisco is wrong. I feel like it's the same thing as the Harbaugh thing. Harbaugh had to go. And he left, and he's still good.
Do you hear Harbaugh is on that list, Jim, being that list of the investigation at Michigan right now? And there's some heat on him.
On the list of what?
Of that coach that hacked Wi-Fi's of sororities to get nudes.
Is Harbaugh is?
Yeah, Harbaugh's on that list.
I feel like that would be like accessory or ancillary. I really doubt it.
All right.
He doesn't come off as like pervy.
They're gonna come. I mean, he does wear khakis, and he would sleep. He would sleep in recruits' living rooms.
Yeah, but that was not because of that. It's because he's just like, football's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
I feel like, at least. I could be very wrong.
That's fair. That's fair. It's all real. It's all a real thing.
All right, should we hop into some NBA?
Let's talk about the NBA.
A lot of movement happening right now. We talked about KD to the Rockets. Still not done.
It's not done?
It's not done. They agreed already in principle. So he's going to the Rockets no matter what. But their teams keep wanting to hop in there and move some stuff around. This could be a 7-team trade now.
How many? 7 teams?
7
what
different
are they
teams
give?
are just swapping picks.
Here's a basketball. Here's a bench player.
I'm at the point where they're probably just...
The Bulls are going to be like cash considerations?
Dude, we didn't talk about that.
Because the Bulls are big.
That was
on cash
we recorded right before the NBA draft.
Ugh.
And the Bulls traded back, what was it, like 12 spots for cash?
Yeah. Jerry Reinsdorf was like, okay.
Money?
So
you're going to give me money?
You're going to give me money. Here's Kobe White. Thank you.
No way.
I'm kidding.
I know, but still, like, yeah, they traded back 12 picks for cash considerations. But
and what are they doing taking this kid from France? By the way, it's just,
okay. So I have
dumb.
Real opinions on Noah Sengue now.
He does not shoot. He doesn't play defense. He's like an experimental something.
He's I think the youngest in the draft or second youngest, something like that, or in that vicinity.
He's going to play in the G
It's
League
just-
to start. There's no doubt.
Probably, or like he'll just bench ride. But I watched a lot of his tape, and then I listened to a bunch of people have opinions on his tape, and all I see is a Euro player that loves to foul bait, and he baited a lot of fouls that you don't get in the NBA, which scares me. I think it was like decent for like where they were in the draft.
Why don't you try and trade up and go get that ace guy from Rutgers?
Because they never wanted to be up there in the first place.
By the way, all these kids getting drafted and then being like, fuck, is the funniest thing I've seen.
About what team they go to?
Yeah, like they are such bitches anymore.
Well,
it's
just,
hilarious.
Dude, the Charlotte Hornets getting drafting Concanapple from Duke. And then the other white guy, it's just right when he got drafted, I'm like, obviously Concanapple's a fucking Charlotte Hornet.
He looks
like another Gordon Hayward just baked into
Gordon
him.
Hayward 2.0.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's just what it feels like, which I know Gordon Hayward's a Jazz, but when he went to the Hornets, it just makes a lot of sense. But yeah, for this KD trade specifically, I feel like it was just right now it feels like they're just trying to break a record for how many teams are in a trade. That's all it feels like right now.
Well, shout out to the Ishbia brothers. They're like, how can we make a segment out of this for a podcast? And here we go.
Well, yeah, and they still have Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal?
And I saw Bradley Beal get talked with a couple teams, including the Bulls. Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause, probably the worst one of all time.
For the love of God, no.
They're never going to be able to get rid of him because no team's going to... They're going to want more for Bradley Beal than what they get back, and he's a supermax contract player. It's fucking insane.
The Bulls would try and like put lipstick on the pig and be like, look, we got Bradley Beal.
I know, but they're not... Because they have money for supermaxes now because they've gotten rid of everybody that has a max contract on their team. That's the only way you'd be able to do it, but you'd have to take a lot of picks from them, which I would not be anti from the Suns' picks in 2 years. But they wouldn't do it properly, and they'd fuck it up anyway. Now, a second big thing that happened is Damian Lillard is no longer a Buck. He tore his ACL, if I'm not mistaken.
No, tore his Achilles.
Achilles, thank you.
Another Achilles injury.
The story that I heard is that he knew he wasn't going to play next year, and the Bucks were considering getting rid of him, and he asked them to be able to do his rehab in Portland to be with his kids.
Okay.
He's like, it's going to be a year. I'd rather be with my kids. Like, that's what I heard. But
Doc Rivers was like, it's 1998. No.
Doc Rivers is stupid and bad. But I guess Giannis was not very happy about it, and a lot of players on the Bucks were like, this is insane.
Well, they waived him, and then they signed Miles Turner.
Which you love.
I mean, I like Miles Turner. I don't understand this for the team. For the team as a whole, you're just like, what?
He could spread the floor. I will give him that. He could shoot as a big man, which is good because Giannis can't shoot. So at least
what are you going to do? Are you just going to have two, like, just monstars?
2 towers.
2 towers?
We're going to talk about the Spurs in a little bit, but 2 towers. That's kind of what it's given me. And like Miles Turner, if he spreads the floor a little bit, and now the Bucks have 2 of the 3 Garys in the NBA.
There's Garys?
They have 66% of the Garys in the NBA.
Wow.
I heard this on a clip today. I think it was on the Pat Bev pod. It was cracking me up. So they signed Gary Trent and Gary Harris.
Okay.
And the Warriors still have Gary Payton Jr. So they have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever and sign...
Okay, Gary Payton.
Yes, but it's funny, too, because all of the Garys are shooting guards.
Just a good name for shooting guard.
No white Garys. It's all black Garys.
Hey, Gary. I mean, come on, Jerry.
I'm telling you, like, most Garys I know in my life that I've met have been white dudes.
That's true. Gerald's, Gary's.
Yeah.
Usually white guys. No doubt about it.
Well, and all the black dudes are like, they go by Gerald.
Fair.
Like Gerald Green. He was a player. Like, that's, yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Gerald Henderson, same thing.
Yeah.
But even so, the Bucks are in a weird spot. Giannis clearly is not as interested in being with them long term as he was before. I think it would be fun to get him on the Bulls, but they would completely fuck their whole future up if they got him. And he's also injury prone now too, which is unfortunate.
I think he's going to want to get traded. I could see him going to a team like Dallas. I could see that. Either
That's
that
tough
or,
now though, because they have AD's a max contract.
Or Utah could be in the mix for him. And the reason I say that is because this Ace kid doesn't want to play.
Ace Bailey's dog.
He wants to be with a team potentially contending. So now, if you could use it as a piece,
did he
to go
say
get
that coming into the draft? He wants to be on a contending team.
Well, he basically said he doesn't want to play at Utah. Didn't show up to workouts. Danny Ainge was like, "Okay, watch this."
I wouldn't want to play in Utah either. I don't
right?
blame him.
Yeah, I've been to Salt Lake once. So you're not missing much.
Yeah.
But ultimately,
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's all right.
Gorgeous.
It's all right.
It is gorgeous.
A lot of goofy street names.
Sure.
Anyways, I would say that if you're Utah, this is a perfect time to call the Bucks and be like, "Hey, we'll give you our first-round draft pick.
We'll give you
and a
Ace
couple-
Bailey and 6 first-rounders is what that's probably going to be the call for that.
or like 4."
I don't know if they're going to take that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will. You got
I
to
mean,
have
Giannis
'cause
wants out.
They don't kinda, but it's in between. But I know like Matas Buzelis did a live stream and Giannis was on there like commenting on it and shit like during the live stream. Yeah, so clearly there's some random connection there. Other big news in the NBA: the Trailblazers released DeAndre Ayton. We've talked about him in length, especially on that Phoenix run.
Didn't he just DeAndre? And then he just signed with the Lakers.
So right away. And it was so clear what the plan was.
Yeah.
Like, the Lakers needed a big man. They couldn't get one. All the big men were getting eaten up by other teams. And then DeAndre's gone, and then all of a sudden he's a Laker. And you're like, duh.
His problem is he was really good his first 3 years in the league.
He's
and
the
then
first
just stopped
overall
playing
draft pick.
He stopped playing defense.
Well, yeah, there's like videos of him out there just like him like not going for a rebound, not bodying a guy up, just like being kind of a prima donna as a center.
So you think LeBron's going to like change that?
Well, now LeBron has played with more number 1 overall picks than anybody else in NBA history.
Well, he's been in the league for 25 years.
Yeah, he's never been surrounded by talent, though. That's the argument. So.
Oh, yeah, never been surrounded by talent, my ass.
Because he started his career with Zadrunas Ilgauskas. Now everybody makes that argument.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh, yeah, Zilgauskas.
I don't think this is that big for the Lakers. Clearly, he's going to get a lot of play, but like they're still
if
not.
I'm the Lakers, why didn't you just look at LeBron and just be like, we're going to release you, please hang it up?
They're not gonna.
$52 million.
Why do you think he took it for one more year?
52 million reasons why.
This is a goodbye. This is a salute.
Please keep my son in the G League.
Yeah.
Tour.
This is his celebratory
Please keep my son on the
tour.
Lakers until his contract's over tour.
He's pulling a Mike Krzyzewski. He's doing a celebration tour. Everybody's going to give him gifts and all that. And bon voyage.
Bon voyage.
The Knicks don't sign anybody's active coach. No shit, Sherlock.
Oh, God.
But they do get Mike Brown. Mike Brown been in the league for a long time. Felt like a very ancillary, normal.
Yeah, it was just like here's.
Medium.
It's like different, but same, but different.
Yeah, he's been around. I mean, he coached the Kings. He coached the Cavs. He's been in a lot of teams. I don't think it's a bad move by any means, but their whole strategy to get to this was so weird.
I don't understand
so weird, dude.
Why you get rid of Tibbs.
I do.
No, I don't.
Tibbs,
how do you get rid of a coach that brought you the Eastern Conference?
Somebody on the Bulls said this too. It's just like after a while, especially a guy that's that intense, like it starts getting heavy on you.
I feel that.
Eventually, it's like, all right, like clearly it's not like shut the fuck, At some point you start saying that where you're like, I'm bought in. Like a lot of guys just probably weren't bought in anymore, man.
Well,
he's intense.
It's difficult to believe that considering he brought the team to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's what I'm saying. But he's intense as fuck.
Yeah,
and maybe that's when personalities were starting.
I
to
have
dwindle.
a theory that I believe that the Knicks will not be in next year's Eastern Conference Finals.
That's probably a good bet, just percentage wise.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I could see that too.
You're better off running it back with a coach, and if you don't make it next year, fine. But you had an opportunity to keep the wheels on the bus.
Yeah, they
Karl
were
Anthony
so
Towns
close.
probably had something to do with it because he's a big bitch. So
maybe. I mean, Kyrie said stop picking on him. So.
Aww.
No, Kyrie was doing a live stream, and he's like, "Leave my guy Cat alone, dude. You guys got to stop doing this to him."
He's such a kind little boy.
He's just like he's so nice, dude. Stop
so
bullying him because he got a
zesty.
new tattoo, and it was like it's on the bottom of his back, and people were like, "Come on." Which is fine if you fill it up all the way, but right now it looks like a tramp stamp.
Oh, he's got a tramp stamp?
Sorta, but it goes across
this
the whole. It
this
goes
is-
across the whole length of the back of his.
This is so par for course for him. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it kind of tracks. Couple more things. The Pistons get stronger. Get Duncan Robinson from the Heat.
Okay.
They needed a shooter.
They got
They went out and got a shooter. I will say too. I wanted to make this a thing too, and I don't know if we talked about this, but I think this KD trade to the Rockets is the best case scenario for them
for the Rockets.
because I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but
It's one piece that can shoot.
they were defensive as hell.
Defensive grade can't shoot.
Hardcore could not shoot. Now they can
So,
shoot.
Now they can shoot. You have one shooter if he stays on the floor long enough.
But he also doesn't have to run the offense.
Are they going to be the second seed in the West again? I don't know.
I think they can.
We'll see.
The West is going to get a lot harder next year, and the East is an absolute cakewalk now.
It's going to be interesting to see if Jimmy Butler stays with Golden State through all of next year.
I think he might have to, unless he gets mad again. But if you look at the East now, it's like the top teams. The Celtics lost their best player. The Pacers lost their best player. Like now it's like
it's going to be a change.
Detroit, New York. Like who's going to win number
repeats. They all just got paid. Either they're going to go down a rung, or they're going to continue to.
Well, or they get rid of them and pick more guys, and then they're good for the rest of eternity.
Yes.
Dennis Schroeder, congrats on another contract.
Betting on himself, man.
Guy bet on himself, got way less money than he could have got from the Lakers. He is now on 10 teams in the league. He's like the Josh Dobbs or like the Josh Johnson or whatever.
Josh Dobbs,
of the NBA. Yeah. I think Josh Johnson actually ended up playing for like 18 teams or something like that by the end of his NFL career.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's now on the Sacramento Kings.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, just signed with the Kings. So
there you go.
Good for them.
Yeah, Zach LaVine, the former Bull, and then
the Bulls of the West.
Do you know that the Bulls have traded 3 max players?
Yes.
And didn't get 1 first-round draft pick in any of those trades.
The only first-round draft pick they got back was
their own.
Yeah.
They got their own. It was just like, oh, thanks, and then cash.
Looking at like ancillary whatever players. If you're looking at like the DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Ball trades, you're like, okay, you didn't get shit from that. Lonzo Ball's gone as well, which that's good.
Yeah. So who did the Bulls trade him for?
Let's see. Let me figure out the exact trade. Let me look it up real quick. He needed to go. I like Lonzo, but it just didn't work out. Obviously, they were number 1. The Cavaliers. There you go.
And who we get in return?
Let's see. He was, dude, never forget Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. They were number 1 in the East when they all played together.
And who do we trade him for?
Adding Ball. Come on, dude. I hate when they give all
articles that are just like, and here we go.
It's like, let me tell you all of the cool things about Isaac Okoro. That's it.
Is this just like a 6-man?
No, he's actually pretty good. He should be better than he was. He's like a 10 a game, something like that. I remember when he got drafted, though. He's a 25-year-old, shoots about 50% from the field. Like he's pretty good. Nothing crazy, though. He played for Auburn a couple of years ago, which was big.
Well, it seems like we're trying to go young.
Yeah,
we're trying to really
should
get this young.
Yeah, he was 5th overall in 2020.
All these guys continue to get extensions, and you're just like, okay, let's see exactly what works. But the Bulls are just going to be in purgatory.
Trade Patrick Williams for Caitlin Clark right now, dude.
Caitlin Clark could be a spot-up shooter for the Bulls in 2 seconds.
I'm ready to go.
And Sophie Cunningham can just be a cheerleader.
Sophie Cunningham. We didn't talk about this. Sophie Cunningham on an interview. So the WNBA is expanding. 2 new teams, 2 new cities. Or 3, I think. They're doing, I think they might do Boston, too. But she was mentioning these 2, where Detroit and Cleveland are getting WNBA franchises. Lucrative deal for them. They make a lot of money, so that's good. But Sophie Cunningham, in an interview, she's like, I don't know why they would put them in Detroit and Cleveland. Who wants to go there in the first place? Interview from Indianapolis, Indiana, where she plays basketball.
Yeah, who the fuck wants to go to Indiana is the next question. Indiana sucks. I mean, if you want to buy fireworks, maybe, and watch mildly good basketball, actually very good basketball.
And Peyton Manning. I would rather go to Detroit or Cleveland over Indianapolis any day.
Yeah, honestly, Detroit's okay. At least some suburbs are approachable.
I enjoyed it last time I went there.
Yeah, you got the fists, right? Those are cool.
And they're rebuilding a lot of Detroit too. It's nicer than it was for sure.
It's trying to be Chicago, like most Midwest states.
Which makes sense.
Most Midwest cities want to be Chicago.
And I've never been to Cleveland, but I'm sure I'd like it more than Indianapolis.
Absolutely.
No offense to Indy. It's just like, come on, Sophie, know where you are.
Yes, Soph.
Come on, you beautiful.
She's still a bad bitch.
Talent.
So I like her. Okay, yeah. So Dennis Schroeder, Bulls, just purgatory. They're never going to be good.
One last thing. The Boston blow-up continues. Luke Cornett, who was like cult hero of Boston, now in San Antonio. He's a monster. He can spread the floor just like their other guy. I think he's like something like 7'1", something like that.
De'Aaron Fox.
Chris Paul.
Victor
Wembanyama.
Stephon
Castle. And now you got Luke Cornett. It's the modern version of the two towers. You got two monster guys in the middle.
It's gonna be fun.
I think he was like second or third in the league in blocks last year, and Wemby was also top 5. So they're just gonna be blocking everybody.
I love it.
Can't drive the lane on Spurs this year, kids.
No, Spurs are going to be pretty good. We'll see. Free agency starts right after the season's over, which I think is pretty elite and more.
It's kind of fun, dude.
More sports should get on this wagon.
It keeps you like in the know, like as it goes.
Although, can we talk about how Adam Silver looked after the after Game 7?
He looks like the guy from Star Wars.
He looked like Jewish Dracula.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's exactly what he looked like.
He looks like Palpatine.
He
from
looked
Star Wars.
exactly like Dracula,
Yeah.
but the basketball president and the Jewish version.
Yeah, he gives me like leader of the new world in Star Wars.
Yeah, like if there was ever a day that like we were taken over by a galactic franchise, it would be Stern.
Not Stern, he's dead. Silver.
Yeah,
he's the hairless wonder. It's unbelievable, honestly, seeing that guy. Seems like a good enough guy, but scary looking man.
That's all I got.
Scary looking man.
Well, everybody, I mean, live episodes are the best, especially when you're sitting outside on a patio on
This was nice.
Beautiful Thursday evening.
Oh, yeah.
We hope you stay safe and stay sane on the 4th of July.
Facts.
A lot of you are going to be visiting family. A lot of you are going to be lighting off fireworks.
Mix in a water.
Drink
Don't
some
be
water.
Jason Pierre-Paul.
Don't be Jason Pierre-Paul. Do not blow off a finger or two. It's not
Light
worth
it and run away. Don't hold it in your hands.
Don't hold it.
Idiots.
Also, if you want to go see fireworks, just go see some fireworks. Maybe don't even bother. A lot of cleanup. Cops usually come depending on where you live in
That's
this great
true.
planet.
I got a bunch of fireworks stuff on my pants when we did that a couple years ago. So.
Yeah, and not only that, they're messy. You got to clean them up the next day.
Yeah.
But enjoy it. Don't drink and drive. All the things. Have a very fun and safe Independence Day. And if you haven't yet, like it, share it,
Do it.
subscribe, share with the fam. Have a wonderful episode of freedom. And this is the episode of freedom of the Taxi Squad podcast as we do celebrate 5 years of the podcast, which that anniversary is coming up soon. So pay attention for that. And as always, we'll see you next week. Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, you know. Jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah, you know.